Thank you, Cooper, for doing this.
Of course, my pleasure.
Hopefully this works out.
I think it will. Got a nice little setup going on here. A little janky, but
Yeah.
put our minds together, we make it work.
We have 2 damas here, which is nice.
Yes,
Lotus
sir.
and Sweets.
What are you repping there?
This is an air.
Okay.
It's the newest Lotus Kendama. We have like a cool wood thing going on here for stalls. And this is like a hickory stripe. The camera probably can't see it, but this is a hickory stripe. So it's what you guys did, right?
Yeah.
You guys have like a tama stripe to make it better.
Yeah. For the weight.
Yeah. So it's like lunar balancing except for tama.
Yeah. Did you guys purposely make it wear out like this, like sideways?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's good for stalls for sure.
Yeah.
Because then it just grabs.
Yeah, I don't know if the camera can see it, but I've been doing stilts I've been practicing for NAKO, and I've been doing stilts to make sure that it's like this, because it's gonna.
Yeah.
Versus this is super slippery, because it's like going that way.
Oh, it's like against the grain or with the grain.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's so crazy though, this wood. I've never really had a dama like this before. Like, is it just the way they cut it? I think my tamas usually look like this.
I think, in my experience, kendamas wear like that because you glue in a very small piece on the very bottom. It's layered like this, but the piece on the bottom is really, really tiny, and then the wood grain is also going in the direction of that. So then, just a recipe for, some people might not like that, but some people would love it.
It might be because of the hickory stripe in the middle. Maybe that's just what they had to do.
This the hickory stripe?
This is just literally if you look inside, it's just a stripe. You know what I mean?
Oh.
And the rest is beach.
Oh, you mean a stripe going this way, like a tube?
No, like this.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like that. Like the paint is just showing the actual stripe.
Yeah.
Or like the hickory stripe's like this. Yeah.
That's awesome. How long has Lotus been a thing?
NAKO 2019 is when we had our first dama.
Really?
Drop.
Oh wow! I just could have sworn it was longer than that.
Yeah, I've been playing for 4.5 years. So 2019, 23, 3 years.
Okay.
3-year anniversary. 3-year anniversary at NAKO.
Cool.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Burping.
Damn.
Yeah, I thought you had been playing longer than that. That's cool. I just hit my 10-year mark.
Damn.
Yeah.
So 2012?
2012, yeah.
Do you know what month?
May of 2012, yeah. That's my birthday is in May, and one of my buddies got it for me for my birthday.
What day is May?
May 25th.
I'm to the 26th.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
May 26th? Let's go. That's
Gemini
crazy.
game, huh?
Damn, that's a day after.
Yeah.
I think I met somebody with my birthday one time in my life, but nobody close.
The day after. Yeah. It's not a common birthday in May, I don't think.
It's not.
You notice, but like September is the most common month for birthdays.
Yeah, a lot of Septembers and some Decembers. A lot of March actually.
Yeah, you're right. My mom's March.
A lot of March.
It just has to do with the birds and the bees, right?
Yeah, like when people choose to
Christmas,
choose to hang out. Yeah, Christmas.
New Year's, August 1st, maybe.
March is 3 minus 9 is 6. So it's people. Yeah, it's June, summertime.
Yeah, summer hits, the sun comes out.
And then you just want to make babies, and then you make them born in March.
So anyway, Kendama. You're telling me about the European event?
Yeah, I just got back from the EKC
in
Europe. I was there for, it was a long story, but I was there
I saw your story
days.
with COVID shit?
Yeah, I was supposed to be there for a week, but I ended up being there for 3 days.
So you're supposed to get in early, but you couldn't get in? Or?
Yeah, I showed up to the airport with Sweets and Cody and getting ready to leave with them and everything, and got to my Vax card was not updated enough. My shot was too old.
Booster?
Yeah, my booster was too old, so they wouldn't let me into France.
Gotcha.
And then I had to go back home, and then I did all that frantically, got my booster, got a negative test. Yeah, all that night, and then the next morning I went back to I had to rebook a flight because it was my fault technically that
Fuck.
it was like I didn't have what I needed, you know. And then I had to rebook a flight, got in, and then went to my gate. Everything was good. Got at my gate, and then they canceled the flight just outright. And rebooked everyone for like the next day or 2 days later.
So you were actually delayed.
Yeah, like three. I went to the airport twice and then ended up going home both times.
Oh my god.
It was like a weird feeling.
What airline?
Delta, I think.
They're usually pretty good.
I know. I was surprised. Delta's my favorite, but yeah, I wasn't. I was trying to go with the flow, be as positive as possible.
But it's fucking, dude, it's hard.
It's hard. Like I spent probably 12 hours on hold, just trying to deal with it.
And that first conversation with like the agent, when
Mhm.
like you're just waiting for something to go wrong,
Mhm.
and usually it's good. You know?
Yeah.
Usually you're like, oh, nothing went wrong. Obviously,
Uh-huh.
like I'm good. But then sometimes it goes wrong.
Yeah,
you know?
it was the
And you're
worst.
like, did you try to like talk the agent into still getting on, or you're like, no, it's not happening?
Kinda like you could
You're
tell
just
that-
surprised, right?
I felt bad for the agents also because like imagine working and then that happens and you know you're gonna have to deal with like 200 people
Not
pissed out of
having
their
a-
mind, like just
yeah.
mad that
Oh,
they're
the
not-
cancellation flight?
Yeah, like
Dude, that's brutal.
yeah.
Yeah, it is like 200 people. I'm always surprised at how many people like when I'm flying and then people like get off the plane or like
Mhm.
I'm in like the gate
Yep.
and you see all these people sitting down
Yeah.
and you realize that they're all going onto this flying object in the middle of the sky.
It doesn't seem
You're
like
like,
it can
"What the
fit
fuck?"
them all. Like I know what I mean. It's funny.
So you got there. So you did 3 days, what, like a Friday to Sunday or something?
Yeah, I was supposed to be there on Monday and ended up getting there Wednesday, I think.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, not that bad, but I think we were leaving on Sunday, so it was like Monday to Sunday, and
Wednesday to Sunday.
yeah,
Right.
so I got there Wednesday to Sunday, so
Yeah.
only a few days, and missed out on a bunch of the. Excuse me.
Dude, I tell you the
Bourbon.
pizza.
I know pizza plus beer equals burps, but I missed out on a lot of the first part. But I didn't miss out on any of the actual competitions, so that's good. So I
Was
got
it Thursday to Sunday or
I think it was 2 days, so
Saturday? Friday, Saturday?
Friday, Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday, I forget, but one of the two.
In Holland?
It was
Netherlands?
in the Netherlands, I can't remember. It's not Amsterdam.
Leiden?
yeah,
Yeah.
Leiden, yep.
I've only been to Amsterdam.
It was.
Did you guys fly into Amsterdam?
Yes, well, I flew into Paris, and that was our original plan, was to be in Paris for a while.
Oh, sick.
And
for like the first 4 days or whatever?
Yeah, because we have Lotus Kendamas France out there. His PJ is this dude who runs it, and
Yeah.
so we wanted to meet up with him and hang out. So I missed basically all that. So when I got in, PJ picked me up in France, and we hung out for a day. I got to see the Eiffel Tower,
Yeah.
and then we drove from France to Amsterdam. which
I was
like
talking
7
to,
hours.
you drove from Paris, from...
Yeah, it was like a road trip in the middle of a Europe trip. Like,
Were the, is it only in Germany where the highways, you could drive as fast as you want? Do you drive, oh, no, Germany's on the...
I know what you're talking about though. The Autobahn.
Yeah.
is what it's called.
Did you guys do that?
No,
You
but
guys drove like 70 or like 100 kilometers.
yeah. And I was just kind of knocked out in the back. They were speaking French the whole time. You know, like I was just in my own world, kind of. But
I heard France. I was talking to I think Marcus when I was in. Cause I'm in Copenhagen pretty often. My wife is Danish, so
cool.
that's why I'm there like a lot.
That's awesome. That's a good excuse.
So
to
she
go.
just drops me off at the Kronk shop, and then I chill with Crumbies, and
Yeah,
then she picks me up, and we go to the airport and come back.
just the whole time.
Yeah.
Just a- I've had
But it's
some-
insane how many fucking kendama shops are in France. Like apparently, like every little city you go to, there's like maybe I don't know if they join with like scooter stores or like with other skill toy stores. But I've heard that there's like an insane amount of kendamas in France, like shops.
Really?
I don't know if you had that.
I didn't notice a lot of shops in person.
Because you're in Paris though, so
Yeah, I was in Paris, and I was only there for like 24 hours, so we only just went to the Eiffel Tower.
yeah,
That's kind of it. Yeah, I went back home,
Yeah.
and yeah. So
Did you jam with anybody?
I jammed with.
Was there like a little jam that they had?
There was supposed to be that, and I ended up missing it.
like
so
on Monday or Tuesday or something.
Cody and Sweets through a jam and got to see some of the Paris
That's
people,
cool.
and it was at a skate park, I think, so that's cool. And yeah, I missed out on that, but it was cool. Got to any excuse to go to Europe because of Kendama is like,
especially Paris is
you
sick.
can't beat that. Like,
what was Leiden like? Is it smaller or?
yeah, it's like it's definitely. I've been to Amsterdam and it's a little smaller than Amsterdam, but same exact vibe as Amsterdam. Like,
Yeah.
there's a river
Water.
going through it and stuff, and yeah,
Dutch
water,
people.
Dutch people, like
Craziest language
just
ever.
I love Europe in that way. Like it's like foreign enough to be like you're in a different country, but
Yeah.
people speak English and you know, like you're not
They're all so cool.
lost.
Dude.
Yeah.
Like,
They like Copenhagen in Denmark. Like that's one of my favorite places.
Yeah.
Like, everyone is just stylish,
Yeah,
cool,
dude.
and like you're like, what the hell is going on?
So
Where
crazy.
am I? And
I love Copenhagen, man. Like,
I felt like I was in like an H&M or a Uniqlo or something.
yeah,
you
just
know?
everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's so swaggy.
Yeah. How many times have you been to Copenhagen?
Just once.
For
It was like a Swedes trip. We went multiple stops in Europe with Max Norcross.
was that 2016?
That was, it sounds right, or 2016 or 17, but one of the two, yeah.
That was when your like most famous moment, right?
Yeah, like
the kids shouting
my
people.
name. Yeah, that was in Romania, and it was on the same trip as we went to. We were gone
You guys
for
did
like
a
a
big
month
tour
and a
around.
half. Yeah, that was like one of the highlights of Kendama
Kendama?
for me. Like, just doing that and going to malls.
I remember just seeing that and like being so hyped that it felt like at least in Romania it was just like the biggest thing ever, and no one really had that experience for Kendama before. It's always low key and nobody knows.
I felt so lucky to be able to be that person and like have people screaming my name, and we went on like a whole tour in Romania and drove around in a sprinter van with the Romanian team. And
Did everybody know Kendama?
the kids know.
In every place that you went to in Romania, or just the major cities?
For the most part, there's cities, and then there's more rural like types where a lot of like the gypsies are and stuff like that. I don't know if that's a derogatory term or not, but it's like real. But you know, like there's actual. It's like out in the farm areas and stuff.
Like I know it's probably derogatory, but I don't even know what a gypsy. It's like a.
It's just like a very rural farm type.
Yeah.
You can't really tell what ethnicity they are. They're kind of like. They're kind of ambiguous in that way. Like.
Did they know Kendama?
No, not really. You know, it's like, but when you're in the city, like when we were driving down the streets, we would see kids with kendamas all the time. And I've been to a lot of countries where we go during the most popular time.
Yeah.
So like I was in Singapore when Singapore was really huge.
Shit, really?
Yeah, and that was one of the biggest scenes ever. Serial Kendamas still popping there.
What year was that?
That was in 2015, I think. Yeah, that was my first trip.
The year before Romania.
Yeah.
That was your first trip?
That was my first. I had to get my passport for that.
Yeah.
So that was
How
my
old were you
first.
then?
I was
20?
19 or 20, I think. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. And that was with Max. A lot of fun trips with Norcross.
With Norcs?
Yeah.
You guys still keep in touch?
Oh yeah. Yep.
You guys from the same area? Or?
Yeah, we're both from Washington and different towns in Washington State, about 40 minutes from each other. But recently he moved to where I'm from, Tacoma.
Yeah.
So now every time I visit Tacoma, he's there, and he lives there with his girlfriend and all of.
He lives there now.
Yeah, and so.
So does Bjorn.
Yep, Bjorn, and I don't know if you know Sal.
Sal, yeah.
Yeah, Sal.
I knew Sal from, because I started playing in 2015, so started in the community like 2016, 2017, and I was watching Bjorn and Sal's like skits they're doing, and then
Oh, your mic fell out.
Is it in my shoe?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh, technical difficulty.
Hopefully, I'll just switch or something.
Yeah, you can have it hanging out like that. But you saw Bjorn
I
and
didn't-
Sal's skits.
Yeah, and I didn't realize that, like, somebody told me Sal actually used to play.
Oh,
he used
yeah.
to be big in the scene, I had no idea.
I don't know about big, but he was big in the Sweets Kendamas community, I think, maybe. Because he worked at Sweets ever since I know
Yeah,
about
that's what I
it.
heard. Okay, yeah.
He strung Kendamas, you know. It was like a summer job for him.
Ah.
And Bjorn also worked. He's on the team now, and he also used to work for Sweets.
More like
videographer.
low key people that are part of Sweets that like people in Minnesota know and people who've probably been around Kendama long enough
like
now.
to me, Sal is OG.
Really?
Like he's been a part of Sweets before I was, you know, and so he's very OG, and he still plays. He still jams.
Okay.
But yeah, it's funny because Bjorn and Sal and Max, they all moved to Tacoma, and they're all friends with all of my friends. So it's like we like switch lives on, especially Bjorn and Sal because they are from Minnesota.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so they moved to Tacoma. It's like kind of a small. It's not really small, but it's a small
How far
city.
is it from like Seattle?
Seattle, it's like 40 minutes. It's the second
Suburb?
biggest city other than Seattle.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about Tacoma.
So like the fact that they moved to Tacoma and became friends with all of my friends is like so. It's like we switched lives. You know, like it's weird.
Yeah, so you went from Tacoma to Minnesota, and then they went from Minnesota. Two of them did, right? Because Norks is from a city in
Washington. He's from Edmonds, which is near Seattle, kind of.
Where are the Gallaghers from?
The Gallaghers are from Snoqualmie.
Snoqualmie.
Yeah, and that is also kind of near Seattle.
Yeah.
Everywhere's about 30 minutes in a different direction.
So many players. I know that's kind of like known, but there's so many players from Washington.
Yeah, a lot of OG players from Washington. Like the scene when I started was like infectious. Like we were just talking about 2012. Luke Ford. We were just talking about Luke Ford. Like
on the Lotus team. Yeah,
Lotus team. Shout out. Me and him. Like I have a lot of great memories with Luke Ford.
You guys were what, like? I guess you would be graduating high school because he's younger than you.
He's maybe 1 year younger than me.
Gotcha.
In school wise.
Okay.
Maybe, I'm not sure exactly, but he's not that much younger. And yeah, we were just. I don't even know how we met. Like through Facebook maybe, and there was.
That was the vibe back then. Right?
Yeah, that was the vibe. We were just.
That's so crazy.
Anyone else who played Kendama, we were just automatically friends, you know.
Through Zucky.
Through Zuck. Dylan, there was another guy, Dylan Mole. Shout out Dylan Mole. And yeah, we would like spend hours just teaching, just learning tricks, you know, just leveling up. And it's crazy how much slower we were progressing back then compared to people now, though.
Yeah, what is that, dude? Like. It's always so fascinating. It's kind of like a popular conversation, like topic, but just how impossible like a stilt was, and impossible like all the tricks that everybody's doing now.
Yeah.
You know, like a few weeks you're getting a trick, that, like maybe like a bird. I mean, what was a bird like back then?
Bird was huge. I remember my first bird like vividly. I remember all of my first tricks really vividly. Yeah. Because that's like they were just a big deal, you know.
Yeah.
But nowadays I feel like kids they have that level already to look up to, you know. So they're like, oh, first week I have to learn triple juggle, and I have to learn, you know, blah blah blah.
It's probably like indicative to every other, like even science and stuff, dude. Like
just progression of everything.
Yeah, I'm sure like astronomists are going in, and because people have already like learned about like rockets, like rocket science. That they just learn that from the college professor, and then they move on to like crazier shit.
Yes, stuff that somebody committed their whole life to figure
out. Like in the 50s or whatever, like it was.
They just that's information that I need to absorb and move past and get better then, you know. So like.
Same for Kendama.
Kendama, same progression, you know. Like, I try to do my tricks and try to do my creative tricks, but kids nowadays are. Next level, like it's gonna take some time to keep up.
In 2012, and when did people start juggling? In 2014.
Juggling was like about 2014, I'd say something like that. Yeah. 2014, 2015.
Blew up 2015, 2016.
Yeah, there was a few people that really made it popular. Jake Fisher, people like that, or in the taps and stuff like that. Yeah. And it's crazy to think that I've witnessed all these progressions throughout Kendama that are like normal now. Yeah. Like all these tricks invented and stuff.
And it's just gonna keep going too, you know.
I can't even imagine what it's gonna keep going. Like Alex Mitchell's like constantly pushing the line. Yeah. Like people like him, like.
Is on the string stuff right now, like the pinches. It's huge right now.
Yeah, the string pinches, like. Yeah. Like 4 years ago, if you would have asked me what would be the coolest wave of tricks, I would have never thought of it.
No, dude, it's so true. Like, I guess concepts that have already been done, those are going to be developed no matter what.
Yeah.
Like, nowadays, people are doing, like, around 5 lunar flip, right? Which is, like, a concept already developed. We already know about it, and yes, around 5 lunar flip. Or, like still, the Nick Gallagher stilt trick, right? Like, 5 stilts in a row, 5.
That trick is never going to not blow my mind. Like,
so, I guess, like, if we look in 4 years, like, those tricks that have already been cemented are going to be insane, right? Like, I can't imagine a better, like, I guess 7-7 or something. Like
yeah,
crazy.
like it's just like somebody's going to be watching that clip who's starting right now and saying, like, I guess I got to do 6. You know, like, in order to be better than Nick, I have to do 6. Or I'm not sure if it was Nick or Zach. I think it was Nick.
But my point was just, like, 4 years, or, like, even 3 years ago when, like, taps and cloud bounces were in, I don't think anybody would really have guessed, like, pinches and late goons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, that's a new concept that kind of came out of nowhere, or probably from Ben, you know, that edit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, when Fringe Case came out.
Yeah.
I didn't...
Dude, that was just...
I knew it was going to change Kendama.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to look back and see how it actually did change Kendama.
That was 2019, really too. That was indicated 2019.
Yeah, it was.
It wasn't like an official release. I just remember, like, I mean, for Grain Theory it was, and it was like a big deal if you were in the in crowd. But I was like, oh yeah, Ben has an edit. Like, it's probably sick. I'm gonna watch on YouTube later.
Yep.
But then it was like completely monumental.
Yeah.
And
like,
I watched it later. I was like, what the fuck? And then everybody. I mean, you got out of that studio, and I think like people took pictures while they were in the studio watching the edit, and like everyone's jaw was dropping.
Yeah. I was in there. And
you were?
It was.
Oh fuck yeah.
For the premiere thing, yeah, it was cool. That's a cool thing Jake does too, is in-person premieres and stuff like that, keeping the hype, the video hype alive, stuff like that. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, dude, but I knew it was a huge edit back then when I saw it for the first time, like on YouTube a few days later, and what people have said about it. But dude, if you actually look how much that has affected and influenced.
Yeah.
Like, I went back and watched it like a month ago, and you realize that there's actually tricks that Ben was doing that people are just doing now and getting a lot of hype for it because they think that it hasn't been done.
Yeah.
And Ben, meanwhile, is in California just like, I fucking did that already, you know?
Did it over the course of like a year or something. Yeah. That, and the how he made that edit was even cooler. It's just like, he just shut out the world basically.
Yeah.
And just grinded, like didn't post on Instagram for like a whole year.
Yeah.
Just only filmed for this edit, and like that's pretty unheard of nowadays.
Yeah. And he like, I think a lot of people who do an edit, like even me, if I'm filming for an edit, if you want a new concept, you kind of like, you'll think of something while you're grinding, and then you'll kind of do like the first level of that, and it's super hype and super cool because it's like, oh, what the fuck is that? But like, you do a lot of that stuff for Instagram, like a shoulder tap, like a newer concept.
Yeah, and then maybe later I'll add something to it. Yeah.
But I feel like with Fringe Case, it's like he found the first concept and then just didn't post it. And then he just kept grinding it by himself, which is hard.
Yeah, you could see the first the first time you see the concept is like a more basic trick. And then you can see how he made it even better. Yeah. It's as if he would have post after post on Instagram, like, oh, I did I know exactly what you mean. But
the like determination, that'd be so hard, dude. Like, to not share it with people and not see what people do with it, but just grinding your own thing. And dude, the whole time you're thinking like, this has never been done before.
It's gotta be a cool feeling. Just to know that you got that gold, like you're just sitting on these golden clips that will change Kendama. And like, I'm sure like the first couple he probably wanted to post them.
Dude,
after a while he probably just felt really good about it. Like, oh, I have these clips stacked, you know.
And I mean, all that work that he put in, it is one of the most influential Kendama edits, you know?
Oh yeah. It's like, it's interesting. I try to show it to like new people sometimes, and it kind of goes over their heads sometimes. The editing is a little Fringe Case. Yeah. But like,
its own term.
Yeah.
Like this is all Fringe Case. Yeah.
It's its own vibe, you know, and I love it.
Yeah.
It's like some people who have never seen it before, it kind of goes over their head, and they kind of.
Yeah, well, you just don't have it to compare. You have nothing to compare it to.
Mm-hmm.
Like for us, we know every kendama concept for the most part because we've been in the game for 5+ years for me, and you never saw those tricks before, so it's just so mind blowing to you. But I guess for new people, it's just like, oh, this could be anything, you know, this could be stuff. But this is how you play.
Is a cool video, yeah. It's wild. Ben Harrell's so good.
I know. I wonder if he's looking to do that again.
I'm sure. I think he hasn't posted for a while.
Yeah,
so you gotta.
Is either tricking or is
he's either tricking or tricking on some crazy stuff, like crazy. He could be scheming. You never know.
Yeah. No. Adrian and Ben live together, and I was asking Adrian what Ben has been up to, and he wouldn't have told me anyway. But I feel like Ben would make sure to keep it really secret.
Yeah, that's funny. I didn't know they lived together. That must be fun.
Yeah, they live together. I did an interview with Adrian because I did like a video on him, and they lived together like during Adrian's big like year, which the video is on, and like he won Dama Player of the Year that year. And it came 2019. 2019 is a big fucking year.
That was.
Yeah. So the Player of the Year for 2019, was that for 2018 or was that for up to that point? It probably was up to that point.
That's a good question but I think it's probably for the year because NACO is usually at
later
October, so it's like the end of the year.
So it was 2019 that Adrian had that crazy year where on Instagram he was popping off.
Yeah.
Right? Like I don't remember that, but like it was
all
just
of his
insane.
string, like glowing string.
Yeah,
tricks.
the new shit. And so I kind of like and he made this point that like him living with Ben while Ben was filming Fringe Case, or maybe like the tail end of Fringe Case, Adrian just was like massively inspired.
Oh, I bet.
And then that turned into Adrian's year.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's just energy bouncing off of each other.
Yeah.
Like, my greatest Dama memories are when I just have my squad of like homies that I came up with like in Tacoma.
Yeah.
We would just play every day, you know, just grinding. Bouncing ideas.
I wish I had that.
Off each
Never
other.
had that. I was in Ohio where there wasn't a Dama player in sight, and so
really?
I got to like intermediate advanced level just in my backyard by myself, which I think was a lot of big experience for Dama players.
Yeah. How did you find it?
So in college, I was rooming with this dude Jack Fayette, and he went to school with Zach Jordan Consander in Pittsburgh.
Wow.
So Jack was just telling me the stories of how it blew up in their high school and it got banned, and Jack was like good because I was brand new. I saw it in his drawer one day and I was like, I really want to play this because I was always like a hobby guy. And then Jack showed me like Bird, and you know, to me it was like the hardest trick of all time, you know. And I bought one that was like December 1st when I was at school, so I went home for winter break, and then I bought two like just blue Kendama USAs. I forget what model it was, but
like a tribute or
something like that. And then Jack played Ken with me, and I was like brand new, and he beat me. And so I was like,
motivation.
My goal was like to come back and then beat him in Ken, and I did. So I came back from winter break after playing the whole time.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
that's some good motivation too.
And then it was funny because I was a senior in college, so it wasn't super cool for like me to just be grinding Dama all day, like skipping classes. Like in high school, it's like with your Kendama homies, it's probably like, oh shit, like that's sick, like he's going for it. In college, it was like, I'm like 22, you know.
It's true. Yeah.
So
in high school, it was
he'd come back from his internship, like accounting internship, and he'd just see me in the driveway, like grinding like 1-turn lunars and shit. He's like, dude, you're getting so good, you know, like stop. Like,
That's similar. The person who showed me, I got better than quickly, but you
have to.
Yeah. That because that's like the goal, you know. It's like somebody who shows you got to do what they do, you know. Yeah.
What was it like? So you started in high school?
Started in high school, yeah. Just
like what year of high school?
I was a sophomore, I believe. Sophomore. And my buddy Drew, who was my best friend all throughout middle school, went to a different high school than me, so we split up. And at his high school, it was blowing up, so he showed it to me, and we got into it because we would hang out on the weekends and stuff.
Yeah.
And he got me into it, and then I found out there was one other dude at my school who played.
Yeah.
And he could do a lunar. And his name was Noah. And I thought that was the first time I ever saw someone land a lunar, and my
So
mind
you met
was
him?
blown.
You didn't know he was playing while he was at your high school?
Yeah, like later I found out there was one or two kids that would go to this room at lunchtime and play, like a computer room or something, you know. And then I went there and yeah, we played with them, and then I got my closest friends like Ernie and Cullen and all the Tacoma people, got them into it, and we just started playing at my high school, and eventually like a lot of people started playing at my high school. That became like a little fad. We might have started it, but we could have not started it. I don't really know, but and
collective type thing.
Yeah. But after it really blew up, and we threw the Tacoma takeover at our high school.
Okay, that was at your high school.
Yeah, so the principal was really supportive of it and stuff. So
you guys didn't get it banned? I heard that happened a lot.
It happened
Hawaii, like the entire state just banned Kendama or something.
Yeah, it happened to a few schools for sure. Like,
San Diego, I think.
It's like a lot of people have that story of like, oh, I know that thing. It got banned in my school. Like.
We, at my high school, went to like an all-boys school. I'm sure if we had kendama, it would have been banned because we're just rowdy, masculine kids, you know? But we were just fucking like taking clothes, like those little plastic things that you like can, like, what's that called? Like a...
Clothespin?
Zip line, like a...
Oh, a zip tie?
Zip tie.
Yeah.
And we would just like zip tie. I didn't really do it. In fact, I was probably like the victim. But you would zip tie like your belt loop to your chair, and so when you would get up, you would like swing around your chair, and the chair would come swinging around you, and the teacher gets mad at you because he's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" You know?
Like you do it to someone without them knowing.
Yeah.
Yeah. like without.
Or like you do it to your book bag. You know. And
that's a good prank.
So I would have much preferred kendama than a zip tie fad.
Yeah.
But we got zip ties banned from our high school.
Wow, because everyone was doing it?
Everybody was doing it. You'd have a habit of like checking your shit before getting up.
I remember we had tech decks banned for a while.
Yeah.
Everyone was playing with it on the
desk. They're like loud too, though.
Yeah,
you know?
they're loud. And this teacher just snatches it away, puts it on top of the whiteboard, like
as if like you can't reach. You know, like you're superiority.
Yeah. It's funny, but yeah, there was a lot of great memories of kendama in school.
Yeah.
Like we have this one video of just like that's like me and my friend Ernie playing a game of Ken, and just this huge crowd of kids just gathered around in the courtyard at lunch and just was cheering us on like the whole game.
Because
like,
you guys were the best?
Yeah, we were like the best, and we were good, but we just started playing against each other, you know, just because we do that every day. And all of a sudden people started watching and hyping us up whenever we started landing stuff, and it was,
that's sick, dude.
Yeah, it was a cool memory.
You ever get like picked on or bullied in high school for kendama?
Maybe behind my back, but not really.
You maybe like feel it a little bit, like some football kids. Or no, is Washington just chill? Like,
I don't know. I it depends on the type of person you are.
You're a cool guy, so you probably were just like, oh no, he's really good, he's super cool.
Yeah, I think people respected it, especially after high school. People respected it a lot. Like every time I visit home, people think I'm famous. Like,
dude, that's sick.
Like
they see the Romanian video.
Yeah, like they really think I'm like, oh, you're famous.
Yeah.
And it's like, no.
You probably are you're probably one of the most famous kendama players.
Maybe, yeah.
Bonds is up there.
Bonds is up there. I'll never beat Bonds. But
yeah, I mean it's hard to judge, but
yeah,
that's crazy though. That like everyone. I mean, so much about kendama is just like that no one knows. Like that's a whole thing that no one really thinks about. But like when you go out and play like at the park or just bring it around, you know, everyone deals with the same shit of just like, and it's not bad, but it's just. You're not bringing around a yo-yo, you know, that people know. You're not like carrying a basketball. Like there's a stigma about it, you know.
Yeah. I've gotten.
So it's cool that you, for that toy, that everyone in the community kind of deals with that stuff. That you have had fame with it, you know.
Yeah, and it's interesting, like everyone's attitude towards it, because in high school they didn't really hate on it, but they for sure no one took it seriously as anything of any sort of substance. And then when I moved to Minnesota and actually started traveling and doing things and people from my high school, it's cool to see.
So you work at Sweets?
Yep, I work at Sweets.
And you've been there for a while?
Been there for a while, like 7 years.
Damn.
2015.
What do you I'm guessing you do like a lot of videos?
Yeah, so that's my job, is the videographer and editor.
Okay.
So
an editor. Yep. And then day to day though, do you do like just random tasks, or do you almost always just do video?
Always video stuff. So I always have a long to-do list.
Yeah.
Burping a lot. Long to-do list of just videos that I shoot and have to edit. And
so like the NAKO tricks was you, like Josh?
Yeah. Well, Josh filmed his at home for the open part. And then
they send it to you, then you cut it up.
Yeah, cut it up, add the titles. A lot of the Instagram videos.
Yeah.
If it's like, basically, if you can tell that it's shot on a camera, not an iPhone, then it's from me.
It's you. Yeah.
Mostly. And
so you're just fucking in Premiere all day, Final Cut.
I recently switched to DaVinci Resolve.
Dude, I have that. Yeah, it's free, right?
Yeah, it is actually. I got the pro version, but I got it for free somewhere.
Okay,
like on the internet.
My Black Magic for color grading.
Yep.
Is that DaVinci? No, I think it's separate.
It might be the same brand. I think there's something.
Yeah, I think there's a collaboration or something.
I know what you're talking about.
Because when I looked up tutorials and stuff, because I'm into video, for the most part, and people recommended DaVinci Resolve for color grading. Yeah. Even though it's like a free program. Yeah. But I guess like the wheels and the features are better than like Premiere.
Yeah. It took me a long time to figure it out, and I have a friend who's really good at it. His name's Samson, and he's super good at color grading. Like that's what he does for work, for freelances on like music.
Just color grading?
Yeah, just for like in the credits, color by
that's
Samson.
Sick, dude.
So he's like really good at it.
It's so important for like a documentary, for like a movie.
Yeah, and it's so tedious. Yeah, like it's so easy just to put a filter on all the clips and color good, but then people like him are just really do it really correctly.
I have like a base level of because when I bought this camera, my clips were coming out gray as hell, and I had the idea because I looked it up beforehand, but I didn't really quite get it, and then my clips were like so bad for a while, like way too like my exposure was good because of photography, but like I just have like completely blue clips, who are like, because when you're going from like blue to yellow, and you don't like, you need to actually like go through the whole scale to really see what looks good. Yep. Like if like it's already really blue, you can just turn it a little bit. You're like, oh yeah, it's better. Yeah. But you don't realize like, oh no, this is white. Like this is yeah. So I have clips that are just like it's so blue or so yellow. But so I did like a few tutorials and stuff. But if it's like good. Like that's how you make a super sick. Like if you want to do like a cinematography thing, like you can have cool edits and you can have cool clips, but what makes it pop, like on YouTube especially, is like your color. Yeah. And everything is so hard to be consistent too, because sometimes you have a clip that's like overexposed and sometimes it's like more yellow depending on like the fluorescent light. Yep. So for me, my challenge is like matching it all together. You know what I mean? Like if you're inside and outside. Yeah, that's a really difficult thing. To match it sucks. Yeah. It's like with Kendama too, because you're like all these little clips, this B-roll that you have to like go through everything again. Brutal. That's the worst part, yeah. And then like in DaVinci Resolve, it's node based, so it's like not normal like layers of effects, like weird fucking machine things. Yeah, so you have to learn how all that works. But once you learn it, I think. I haven't used Premiere in a while, like a few months. So, how's cutting and editing? Is that okay? Yeah, the cutting and editing is really good. You like it more than Premiere? I like it equally. Okay. It does. I like Premiere for that, like the magnet. I'm sure they have magnets and shit, but like, I guess I'm just used to it. I made all my keyword shortcuts the same as what I have on Premiere. Yeah. So it took a little like converting. Yeah. But I like to do that and make it my own anyway with all the hotkeys and stuff. And to be able to zoom in and out really quickly and stuff like that. Yeah, that's important just to get editing quick. Yeah. Done, or like
changing from the blade tool to the selector tool like really quickly, like stuff like that.
Yeah, it makes it so much more efficient.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's cool, dude. I'm always inspired by your video work. Like you see Instagram shit, and it's like it looks good. You can tell that you edit, like you throw in overlays and stuff. It's like kind of like basic stuff. But when I saw you did the documentary for the Gallaghers, right?
The most recent or the long one?
The long one.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, oh, dude, this dude is like an actual like videographer. Like it was insane.
Thank you.
The clips, and it was 30 fucking minutes, right? It was
it
was so long, dude. It must have taken forever.
It did. I think it took all summer one time. Like I think I shot it one summer and finished it the next summer. Like
oh, really?
I think so.
You shot it and then worked on it through the year?
Yeah, because at the end of it they go to Japan.
Yeah.
So I waited. I think I edited it before Japan and then added all the Japan stuff afterwards.
Dude, yeah.
And yeah.
I'm a huge fan, bro. Like, honestly, I showed my mom that video.
Really?
Like, my mom doesn't know anything about Kendama, and I was like, look how good people in Kendama are good at making movies.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and she was like, she told me to fast forward to like the good, like she didn't know what she was doing.
There's some talking stuff that you don't need to hear.
But I was so hyped on like the video and the Gallaghers, they're fascinating for a Kendama player, like the twins, and how good they are, and you just capture that in that, like it was perfect, dude.
That was really lucky. Like shout out Sweets for just allowing me to have that creative freedom, for stuff like that, They were making new pro models, so I was like, we gotta make a documentary,
It's huge, dude. Yeah. I can't think of another long form like documentary that's that professionally done. There's like edits and stuff,
True. I can't really think of
like a movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it was basically a movie.
That is true. Pat myself on the back. Like that, it was fun to make, and then we won the Downspike Award for that video too.
Oh,
so that was
much deserved. Cool. There you go.
That might have been.
Your back has been padded already.
Yeah, right. That one was.
That was 29. Was that 2019 again?
I think it was 2018.
Okay.
I think because 2019 was.
Somebody else?
I won it.
Oh, Jesus Christ, dude! All right.
With the Christian Fraser edit.
Yeah. Which one was that?
It was for his first legend model, and it was the one that's based off whiskey.
Yeah,
so he had, like his girlfriend
super cool
in
smoke
it and stuff, and
Smokey's like just cool cinematography.
Yeah, it's cool B-roll and stuff like that.
That was his first Dama, the first one, the big one that.
Yeah, that was like the one that made him not more famous, but like.
But that Kendama was. Like everybody in the community was like, this is the most fun Kendama ever, right?
It inspired the boost shape.
Okay.
And it was like the first.
Yeah,
shape.
dude. I feel like I was a little late to like when I started was when the Crom B-Day came out, and my friend Ezra, shout out Ezra from like Virginia, he was telling me because he played like since 2013 that when the B-Day shape came out, or I don't know what shape it was called, but. When that Crom B-Day came out, it was like kind of a bigger Dama, like really good for lunars. That's when Cam Herrera was doing like the UFO lunar tricks on that shape.
Okay, yeah.
And so he said that shape was like revolutionary. But then I feel like, dude, like me just being a player, I didn't own Lotus at the time. Like when like that first batch came out, and like one kid would have it like at the jam, and we'd all be like, "No way!"
Yeah.
Like it's like sticking like this,
Yeah.
God, that's so cool, dude.
So much progression.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think is going to happen though? Because there's talk like, I mean, obviously I own Lotus, so I'm really on to the shape game. But this is a good topic. It's kind of new, but like I've been thinking that NAKO. I asked in the Instagram chat one day if you guys were bringing the Glowkin box. And it doesn't sound like you are, because remember 2019 was when you had to get your Dama checked.
Yeah.
You got like a sticker.
We brought the box, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not. It's not a bad thing because if I had an event that even as big as NAKO, I don't think I would do that either. But I just wonder what's gonna happen with shapes. Like if 10 technically, you don't have to for NKO this year. You don't have to listen to the box. You can have a fucking big Serato that's like this wide.
That's true. Yeah. I'm not sure if we're gonna do the box or not, but
yeah.
Excuse me. Yeah, it's like kendamas are only getting bigger, and
yeah,
it's like, when will it stop? Like,
but I mean, it already kind of has stopped because like the B-Day came out, and then the Lotus Big Shape was kind of big, and we dropped the same time as 1UP, and 1UP was a big shape. Sweets, you guys are always been kind of like around the same. The last one was significantly bigger. What was it?
The amped.
The amp shape.
Yeah.
But from people who I talk with, it's like, don't go bigger than this. Like, there's a limit where it's like too big.
That's true, because it's like,
too much.
When does it become a jumbo, or when does it become like anything else besides a normal size?
And for compass, like, when is it hurting you? Like, when is it too big that is where you can't do a juggling trick or like a late flip trick without it getting in the way?
And it's wild to think that all the tricks that were landed first, like back in 2011, 2012, were done on the smallest kendamas compared to what they are now. Like, you compare the cups to an Ozora to this, and like, the big cup is smaller than the little cup.
Yeah,
like, it's crazy. Like, and it's the fact that we were able to do tricks like that on the worst kendamas ever.
It's an interesting thought that like, you know, people like the top competitors like the Gallaghers and Alex Mitchell, like, they have been playing for a while, so obviously they're going to be better than the other competitors, like you know, people who started in 2016. But I wonder if it also has to do with they were landing tricks on fucking impossible damas. Like, for example, in Florida a few years ago, someone brought the an OG shape, like a really, I don't know what the name of it was. It wasn't like a vegan, but it was just like 2012, just small.
Was it one of the gold stickers or
something like that? Yeah, I should know. But the I played with it, and I couldn't do a lunar. You know, like, I'm pretty good at lunars, and I couldn't. Yeah. But Alex picked it up, and I think he, you know, obviously he's like an insane player, but
he could do all this stuff.
I mean, he started back in the day, and that's when he started playing on those shapes.
Yeah.
So I wonder if like like Alex can.
It's like riding a bike. You like go back to it almost.
Yeah.
Like, you could still do
and you're able to he hit like an inner triple lunar flip on that dama, and it was all hype because it was like a crazy dama. But dude, I mean, that's somewhat of an advantage, like, because obviously they've been playing longer, but also they learned on damas that were so hard to do anything on.
This is true.
Lighthouses were slippery as fuck.
It makes me like maybe less picky.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, this is good compared to anything else we've ever been using. So like, it's
like it works.
Yeah.
Like, if you're like complaining about a bird not sticking or like the tama being too slippery, which is what I commonly complain about. You have more leverage. You have more like comparison, right?
Yeah, you know, like.
You can't complain that much.
Yeah. It's like there's like a meme going on right now. It's like they're complaining about one thing, and then it goes to like a little kid version of themselves, and they're like, "Well, we're even doing that in the first place." Like, "Oh, I hate the music I'm making," and then the little kid version, like, "We're making music."
Yeah,
like,
dude. It's deep.
It's like, oh, I don't like the shape I'm using, and it's like back in the day we were using the worst shapes ever. Like.
Yeah, I mean, that's just that's kind of the bad side of like relativity. Like, this shape is going to be, I mean, as Kendama develops, it's going to get more and more insane, and I think that there's room to make stalls easier, and there's room for like just a lot of modifications, because I don't think we're going to get much bigger, like I was saying earlier, but I wonder what a shape in 5 years is going to be like.
Yeah.
Like, you can probably lunar and sling easily, you know, because right now it's kind of opposites. Like, a good lunar dama is a bad sling dama because of the Serato being heavier. And dude, in 5 years it's gonna be just a honed little machine here. You know,
like everything just pinpointed perfectly.
Like stalls, like the ring and the handle, and maybe like fitting your fingers and shit. There's gonna be like, I'm sure there's gonna be regulations at some point. You know.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, you can't do sticky shit. You know, you can't put like wax on it.
It's It's so hard to comprehend in, like, the future of things. Like 5 years ago, I would have maybe guessed that we would have been like this. Looks pretty much like it looked 5 years ago, but not if you look at the details, it's really, really different.
Yeah.
So I wonder how much different it would be.
If it's gonna look different.
Yeah.
You know.
It's wild.
But dude, I mean, I think like it feels like it's not gonna be different, you know, because you feel like the moment that you're in is gonna be kind of like that moment forever.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of naive to say, you know, because like if you've seen, like if you played in 2014 and you saw the game then and you see it now, it's like it's gonna keep changing. Like it's not gonna stop. It feels like it won't, but
it is wild.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how long I've been in it. Like I've gone through all of the, like when I started, like, you know, like I had all these pros that I was looking up to and like wanting to meet and be better than and all this.
Now you're the guy.
Yeah, it's weird. Like people who start, it's like I'm probably really OG for them, you know. It's like I don't feel that
and
way.
You were, you had the OGs.
Yeah, I have people who I think are OGs. You know, like it's interesting.
Yeah.
Like Colin Sanders, Zach Yord is the first edit I ever watched.
Okay.
Like,
I was fortunate that it was for me too because of Jack, but I think otherwise, like Joe Nelson started playing with like around the same time that I did.
Okay.
So it's kind of like another wave of Kendama players that I have 6 years in my belt, which is a lot, you know. But yeah, I'm looking at you guys, you know.
It's true because 6 years seems like a long time.
Isn't it a lot? Yeah, it's like crazy.
It's a long time to do anything.
Yeah,
you know? It's like,
but you have 10.
I can't believe that. I haven't done anything for
10
10 years. You know, like, what else have I done for 10 years in my life?
Yeah.
Not much.
Yeah, it's super cool, dude.
Yeah.
I was going to bring up something else. Yeah, I don't know. Should we just cut it there? It's 5:30?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, we got to get to the jam. We got a jam today.
Yeah.
Isaac's got his weekly jam. So
Washington Square Park Jam, New York City. Every Thursday we've been going.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Like, that's exciting. It's cool to have a consistent thing for the community. Just you know.
And New York City it's big enough where there's gonna be people being there every time. Like, I remember one of the first DC jams I threw. I shout out all the DC homies, they're amazing because they would drive from Baltimore down to the jams. But the first one I did, no one showed up, and it was like chill because I was like, if that happens, I'm just gonna play down like I normally would.
Yeah.
But the first New York one I threw in Washington Square Park, I was just getting to get ready. I brought my camera. I was just gonna go play by myself in case no one showed up. Like, not take it to heart. But then we had like 20 people there.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's a cool feeling. Yeah. That's cool.
All right, well, we should head out. So thanks, Coop, for doing this. Hopefully everything looks and sounds good.
Yeah, hopefully we didn't botch the audio too hard, you know. I think it'll work out, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course, bro.
All right, dude.